Hey, what's going on, guys? We are back for another episode with TNT Podcast, the Taj and Tory podcast. My name is Tory. Got Taj over here, my brother. And we're here at LaSalle University, my university. So all views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are our own and do not express the views, thoughts, and opinions of LaSalle University. So let's get straight into it, bro. How you been, bro? It's currently January 22nd. This is like an update video kind of what we've been doing. I just came back from Christmas break. It's my spring semester. It's my last semester here at LaSalle, bro. I'm kind of.
How does it feel?
I don't know. It just hit me. I'm not gonna lie. It just hit me. Like when I was in class, but I was like, dang, I am a senior, bro. Like I want to know, did you ever have that feeling when you was like a senior, like your spring semester, like, right. Hey, like it's my last semester here?
My spring semester of my official senior year was when COVID hit.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
Yeah, and so it's a long story, but it was kind of that same feeling for me because
really?
I know.
So you was on Zoom or no? You was just you wasn't in person.
After everything had happened, we had off for like I think 3 weeks. It was a minute.
Yeah.
And then we went back on Zoom. So we just finished that semester out on Zoom, and I had like other classes. I didn't like I was a senior, but like I didn't have all my requirements.
Yeah.
So I had to go back for another semester, and the next semester it was all the same. Like it was all through Zoom. And
yeah.
So it was kind of like a surreal feeling.
Facts.
Finishing out your last year, your last semester, it's supposed to be, I don't want to say special, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's like you want to make the best out of it.
Definitely.
I know I really couldn't because of the circumstances.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting.
I feel that.
But, it was interesting, but at the same time, like, just reflecting on everything that happened, like throughout college, it was kind of crazy looking back at it because everything just sort of happened so fast.
Bro. Now, we're gonna get back into that. It's currently 2023. The new year. I know my brother got some bad news. I don't know if you want to talk about it. He had a crazy start to the new year for him. So
yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about it. You can get into it if you want. But how was your new year, I guess?
Well, obviously I'm not, gonna get too personal about
facts.
It. But so I had mentioned before, or I mentioned on the last episode that I did have a job. I was unfortunately laid off from that job.
Yeah.
About 2.5 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working at that job for a year. I'm not gonna get into like the circumstances of like my position or the circumstances of why
But it wasn't just you. It was
it wasn't just me. It was
multiple people.
It was budget cuts that had to be made, and multiple people were laid off, and I was just part of.
And I feel like that's today's time because like, bro, the day after that happened, Amazon laid off 18.
The economy's getting bad, bro.
Amazon laid off 18,000 people.
The economy's getting bad, bro.
So
I was hearing about it before everything had happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I would.
You didn't think you would be the one, right?
But anyways, just for any like college kids that could be watching,
facts.
The podcast, as y'all think about y'all careers and what y'all want to do post grad.
Yeah.
Hopefully this getting laid off doesn't happen to anybody else. Yeah, but in the event that it does, there's a number of different things you can do when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
A number of different things that I didn't know, going into it that I had to learn.
Yeah.
Number one, you got to figure out severance pay. Like that's the first thing you want to ask.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what severance pay is, upon getting laid off, usually the company they sort of like pay you out for the next month, or I heard you could get paid out, for a couple months.
Really?
That could be like an extra unemployment check.
Yeah.
But you just get it through the company. You don't get it through like that's not like a government check that you get in.
Yeah.
But they're basically paying you out, for the circumstance that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll give you your regular check. But that severance pay, it depends on how long you've worked there. It depends on how long between you get laid off and let's say you find another job
Yeah.
shortly after. So it's a lot of things that depend on
Mm-hmm.
how much you get and how long you get it for.
And I did not know about that either. So
I didn't know about. Mom told me about it.
Yeah.
She told me she was like, the first thing you got to do is figure out severance pay. But
Okay.
unfortunately, like things with my company were so bad.
Yeah.
You know, I just
So
couldn't get that.
just talk about briefly, like, I don't know, how did you feel when you was in that office and like you was with a lot of people? You told
Yeah.
me, a lot of people had different circumstances than you. You know, like a lot of people had, that they have full on families, like kids that they got to take care of, and they were laid off. So how did that feel with you being there and just like wow, like I'm being let go, and like a lot of these people are in the same boat as me, but are in way worse situations than I am.
Right. It was the first reaction was shock on my part, because it was like you said, they had brought all of us into the break room, and
you don't got to go into depth about it or anything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but basically they brought all of us into the break room. They broke the news to us, and we all looked like, y'all joking?
Yeah.
What y'all talking about? And they basically started explaining like, yeah, get this figured out, get your unemployment figured out, get your insurance figured out, and basically that was when it all started setting in, and it was a tough scene, and I said, it was more shock on my part, but I more felt so for my coworkers.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
Like I said, there are people working there for 15 plus years.
Exactly.
And lives were completely changed by that. So I more so felt, rough for them.
Mm-hmm.
And as time, as it's been a little bit of time since it happened.
Yeah.
I
do you want to talk about what you've been doing lately? Like,
yeah. The shock turned into, it was like, like the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
I wasn't attached to my job, but like it was routine. It was something I was doing every day.
Every day. Kind of like school,
Right.
It was like that same routine,
Yeah. It was basically, it wasn't like school, but it was like a routine like school. So it was just it turned from like initial shock to I didn't know how to feel to you just get down on yourself, like, dang, like, where am I going to find another opportunity like this? Then I know the first thing I did was, like, I was right on Indeed. I was working with,
Yeah, and
all different types of websites trying to look for something else.
And I remember Mom talked about with you, like, your position, it's very, I don't know, is it very, how do you say it?
It's it was.
Is it a sought after position? Like, do you think
it's a specialized position for very specific circumstances. So
and you
like
luckily you got that position. You was promoted.
Yeah. But like it's a position. It's a specialized position. It's nothing really like it wasn't nothing that it wasn't really like a lot that went into it. But like it was for a very specific circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of finding another opportunity like that, it's gonna be for that specifically. It's gonna be really hard. But luckily, I didn't start out that job in that position. I started out as an HR assistant. Yeah. So obviously, I've been getting more opportunities in that field. Yeah. Than anything else. But it's like I said. You go from being shocked to okay, I got to get back out there like as fast as I can. To then you just start to get down on yourself. Exactly. You start getting real discouraged.
And that happens,
and that happens.
It's all a part of adulthood and growing yourself as a person. Like me just looking at it as a brother, I was like, wow, like I don't want to be in that position, like, and with me, like what I want to do as a career, I really don't want to have a 9-to-5. Like I know that's the whole like thing. Like everybody says, I don't want a 9-to-5 or anything like that. They suck. And like, you had a 9-to-5 basically, Yeah. And I want something that's like very, I don't know, like I don't know. I'm a senior now, and I should have it all figured out, but I really don't. I want to be in the entertainment industry, so that's something I'm looking towards. Broadcast, TV. TV personality maybe, and this is all helping me do it. Like this is all gonna be on my resume and all that. So yeah, I think I'm just winging it, kind of just like you. Like we're just looking to see where things go.
Yeah, it's like you said, I'm winging it. And at this point, I'm just kind of trying to make something out of nothing.
Facts. And that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, because
you gotta like deal with the hand. How you say it? The cards you were dealt with.
Yeah. The cards you were dealt with. It's I don't remember the specific quote.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
It's just sort of crazy looking back because like I had the job for exactly a year. I got let go the week it would have been a year since I've been there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was like kind of like the anniversary. So that time last year was I was trying to figure out my way because I was just coming out of college and I was looking for a job, whatever.
Yeah.
I was just looking to make money because I was broke.
Facts. Yeah.
But I got that opportunity, and that opportunity grew into something more, and I didn't think it was gonna be that.
Yeah.
And you know, I put so much, like
Effort.
mentally,
Yeah. Facts.
just from what I learned in college, everything I learned in college, like I put a lot into what I was doing there.
Really.
And just to have it like,
Taken away from you.
yeah, taken away from me. It was like I said, I didn't know how to feel about it initially, but like as time kind of went on, it's kind of like, dang.
And I don't know about you, but I'm very positive, and I'm very, I'm very into the Lord and into like Jesus or whatever, and God and everything. So I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So do you feel that way at all? Like, do you feel like it was kind of a blessing in disguise how like you were let go? Do you see that picture yet?
It's a good question. It's hard. It's hard to stay positive. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I can say. It's really, really
Yeah, it's
hard
very
to stay
yeah.
positive in circumstances like that too. Because like when you're laid off, there's nothing anybody can do about that.
Exactly.
Like nothing the company, nothing you, nothing your coworkers can do. Like when you're laid off, it just happens, and you just gotta eat it. But in terms of staying positive, part of the way I try to stay positive, just to stay productive,
Mm-hmm.
just make sure I'm on Indeed every day. Make sure I'm on or
Doing the necessary things to.
yeah, contacting my recruiters from my temp agency, just like everything, just making sure that I'm doing a little bit every day to make sure that I'm in like a better position.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's part of staying positive.
For real.
Because like you can't put yourself in a better situation unless you put the effort behind that.
Facts.
So
So just
for me, it's more of like an action type of thing.
Mhm. Take action type.
Yeah.
So just to end it off, I know we've been talking for a while about your situation.
Yeah.
What's like, just to end it off, what would be some advice to any college kids out there that's watching this?
Well, like I said before, like hopefully it doesn't happen to anybody else.
Facts.
But in the event that it does, like I said, you want to figure out your severance pay first. Then you want to figure out your unemployment, how much you're gonna get. It's a very long, annoying process to like just to do the application.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're done, like you're getting paid every week, and then you're fine. But figure out your severance pay, your unemployment. If you have insurance with your job, figure out that and how they're ultimately gonna pay you out. So you can still get those benefits. Just figure out like all the standard things, and other than that, it's hard to really stay strong mentally when
Facts.
something like that happens. But
For real.
the best advice I can give in regards to that is just to take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And know that you can't get everything done like within an instant,
Mm-hmm.
but really stepping back and accepting the fact that okay, I can only do all I can from my standpoint, and just to take it little by little, it becomes easier to accept
Yeah.
your situation, and it becomes easier to move on and find something better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot that I could
facts.
say, but we're
I feel that. Not for real. Just to kind of step back from that, I guess, bad topic. I guess.
yeah,
Let's move on to something a little bit lighthearted. I don't know. I want to talk about what I've been doing over break. Nothing too much. I've really been looking at a lot of videos on like I've had I really want to do some big things kind of in the new year, and we'll talk about that in a minute, like New Year's resolutions, whatever, if we have any. But this year I really want to get into videography. I want to start doing short films, and then definitely getting this podcast together, getting different guests, and I've been on YouTube looking up how to edit different effects and all that, because that's something I'm really passionate about. Like I really want to get good at that. I really want to work towards being a videographer, actor, maybe. TV personality. So that's something I've been looking at, this whole break. But nothing too crazy. I feel like, I don't know if he didn't want to talk about it, but I'm just gonna talk about it. I feel like over this Christmas, for me, it did not feel like Christmas at all. Like it was like kind of like the first year where I was like, wow,
It was the first year for you,
yeah. I don't know what, I don't know why, but it was
bro.
like the first
It
year that it
hasn't
did not feel like Christmas.
it
Like,
hasn't felt like Christmas to me, and I really wanted to feel like Christmas this
yeah.
year because I had my PTO
Oh
for Christmas. So
yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna have a good behind Christmas this year,
yeah.
and it just didn't feel like Christmas.
It
I feel
just
like that's just a getting older
yeah,
type of
facts. It's
thing.
definitely we're getting older to the point where like, I feel like we just gotta get gifts for our parents and our other people that we like
Yeah,
look
yeah.
after instead of we're getting the gifts. Like,
And that's fun.
yeah,
You know,
for real.
you feel good giving gifts
Definitely,
to people, and
definitely.
you want to see their reactions once you give them the gifts.
Mhm.
That always feels good.
Mhm.
But it's just like, you're older now, so that magic of Christmas, you don't really feel that
Yeah,
no more.
I didn't watch any Christmas movies.
I tried, but I just
Really?
it ain't hit the same.
Word? It
Like
didn't at all.
bro. I watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I watched the little. It was just on, ABC Family be running them
Yeah.
during Christmas.
No, free.
time.
It's freeform now.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's all the same
freeform.
to me, but
Definitely.
yeah, I was watching a couple of them. I'm just like, man, this don't like.
It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit the same,
it don't
bro.
hit the same. Like, it's just
What was your favorite Christmas movie? Mine is Polar Express.
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
Polar
Bro.
Express.
That
I feel like
was-
everybody.
And
says
I
that,
love
though.
the Santa Claus movie too. What's his name?
Yeah, Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Tim
Tim Allen.
yeah.
I love that movie. Those two movies were kind of like the best movies for me. But yeah, Christmas just as we're getting older, it just I don't know, it doesn't hit the same no more. Like, do you think we're gonna get that back? I feel like we're gonna get that back when we have kids. Like, we're gonna see them experience Christmas, and I feel like that's gonna be the only way we're gonna like see like Christmas being like
yeah.
joyful.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to talk about kids right now, but
Facts. We're
it
definitely
makes sense.
we're
It
definitely
makes
way too young
sense.
for kids right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that was what I did over the Christmas break, and now I'm here. Now it's my last semester here at college, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking to see where things lead me. So, do you have any, did New Year's resolutions? I feel like, that's kind of a topic everybody talks about once the New Year's hits. Do you have any New Year's resolutions or anything like that? And do you believe in that at all, or what do you think? Like,
No, and honestly, I think that's stupid. if you want to make a change in your life and you want to, just do something different, you're just gonna do it. You're not gonna wait till New Year's to do it. Like if I want to go to the gym and I'm fat, I want to make that change. I'm gonna just make that change. I'm gonna go out and get me a gym membership, or I'm gonna just go to the park and go for a run. Like that's. I don't feel like making the change is limited to the New Year's. I don't feel like you gotta wait for New Year's to make a change, no matter what that change may be. But well, I'm not gonna knock anybody for having them. But,
nah.
At the end of the day, I just feel like if somebody's like, oh, like this is my New Year's resolution, I feel like they never stick with it. I feel like they say,
And that's the
I'm
thing.
gonna do this.
That's the
and then
thing.
They'll fall out of it within
after
like
a month
or so,
or
and
2 months.
I feel like anybody who says they have a New Year's resolution, they just not serious about like making the change.
And
they're just saying it. Cause
I used to believe in it. I used to like have like little list of what I want to do over the New Year's, but it's just completely. I would never like get back on it. You just have to talk about it and be about it, or don't be. Wait,
just do it.
Just do it. Exactly.
Just do it.
If
like I said, like there's no time limit on if you want to make a change.
Definitely.
It's not like we got all the time in the world either. Because time's limited.
Yeah. But and as we're getting older, time's limited. Yeah.
Because time's limited, you want to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, why wait until New Year's to make that change? Like you want to make a change, you're gonna do it. You're gonna make that change anyways. So, like I said, I'm not gonna knock you for having a New Year's resolution because at the end of the day, wanting to make the change is the first step to making the change.
So, do you think like what's the point of New Year's then? It's a new year, most definitely. Everybody goes through New Year's all across the world, but there's a certain type of celebration to New Year's. It's New Year, new me. Everybody says, everybody's at Times Square during New Year's Eve. The big cities, people celebrate it and all that. What do you think is the point of? I don't know why. Why do you think people really celebrate it like they do? Is that a good topic to go into?
Why do people celebrate New Year's? Well, that goes back to the concept of time. If you really want to get deep with it,
yeah.
Because I be thinking about this sometimes, but like not a lot. Because like I feel like if I get too deep, I'm gonna just mess my mind up. But it's like everybody, like I said before, like your perception of time changes as you get older. So I guess New Year's, it might have different meanings for different people depending on who you are. Like, New Year's might be a motivating thing for one person, and it might be a like, oh crap, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
To another person. So it just depends on your perception, I guess.
Definitely.
Some people see it as a positive thing. Some people see it as a negative thing. Some people are kind of neutral about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know why, people celebrate. You ask me why. I don't know why. It's a holiday.
Yeah, it is.
Celebrate
Yeah.
holidays,
Yeah.
But
to have a good time, with their
whatever.
family.
But like
and
everybody,
friends.
everybody has. I feel like everybody has a different perception on like what New Year's is to them. Some people is like, oh, another year. I'm losing time. I'm getting older.
Yeah.
And for another person, it might be I might not be where I'm at. I'm behind the 8 ball compared to my peers, or another person. It might just be real motivating for them. It might just be okay. New year, new challenges,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So it depends on your like mentality and like your perception, the way you view things.
And one thing about me, I'm very optimistic about the future. So like, I tend to look at the future more than I look at the past. So with this whole podcast thing, I've been wanting to do a podcast, and I ended up doing that. Here we are, we're doing it. Especially with what I want to do in videography, I want to get towards that. So I'm looking towards doing that and all that, short film skits. So I'm very excited for the new year. I'm also kind of a little bit kind of skeptical. I don't know, just because I'm a senior and like it's my last year here, so I want to make the most of it.
Do you have like a little anxiety about?
Yeah, I would say so.
Where you think you're gonna be at?
Just because like I'm looking at in comparison, I hate comparing myself to people or whatever. That's like the biggest. That's so like toxic to do, but that's just our society. Like that's our generation. Like we tend to look on social media.
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
I don't know. And some of my friends, they got stuff. Right, they're after this, they got something already. They got a little
right. It's
co-op
it's
thing,
nothing to be ashamed of because everybody got different stuff.
Or a job that they're doing.
Yeah,
and I don't know. And I'm definitely gonna get on it. I'm definitely gonna get on what I want to do. I have some options of what I want to do after my senior year, so that's definitely what I'm looking forward to. But I don't know. What do you think? What's some advice you have? I guess for me, like, where was your headspace at when you was a senior?
Well, I tell you, it's nothing to be ashamed of because I had no idea what I was, and I touched on this a little bit before. But,
yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, but I had no idea what I was gonna do. Like even like before the whole COVID stuff, like my anxiety was even worse than it was when the COVID hit, because you take all the COVID stuff out of the equation that year, I would have been screwed because I was behind the 8 ball with my requirements for my classes anyway. So I probably would have had to go back another semester. I wouldn't have known how I would have made that happen without Zoom.
For real.
So I was just in a situation like last semester, senior year. I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna make happen. How I'm gonna make it happen. I was broke. I ain't had no money. Like I ain't. It was rough. It was rough, and I had a lot of different things going through my head, and I can't even sit here and say that I didn't have mad anxiety at that time, just because it was kind of a scary time for me because I didn't know what the future was gonna hold. Like you said, you like thinking about the future. I hate thinking about the future. It just gives me so much.
It's not really like I like thinking about it. It's just like what I want to do in the future. Like is that the same thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Like what I mean? Like I have different goals for myself. I put myself to a high standard. I that's kind of a toxic mentality to have, but I don't know. I have different goals to the point where I don't know. I just want to be perfect all the time, and I know that's not. You can't be perfect all the time.
Well, that's why I had my anxiety because I was so far behind, and like you said, I had peers who had already
You're looking at that. You're looking at that, and you're just like, man,
dang,
what? I don't have
really
nothing.
Behind the 8 ball.
Exactly.
And it's like I can't really say much except just don't you can't be so hard on yourself. You gotta.
Nah, I feel that, and I want to get better.
I know that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But like I said, it goes back to taking it one day at a time is a part of it. But being easier on yourself, it takes so much more than just that. If it makes sense.
And that's the reason why I want to have this podcast. I feel like there's so many people that are in our shoes that I feel like it's not being talked about enough. So I want to have students, international students, talk about their experience of how they're doing at like a college or anything like that. And alumni too, how they felt when they was a senior in college. Where their headspace was at. So that's the whole purpose of why I want to implement a podcast, to talk about all that, So that's the basic, that's the main thing. I don't know. So how you want to lead out? How you want to lead out of here? You want to let's do a word of the day.
I guess we can do that.
I was watching over the Christmas break. I was watching a podcast. Kevin Hart had a podcast. It was like on a self-care podcast with Jay Shetty. That's his name. And that I watched the whole podcast because he's one of the people I really look up to, Kevin Hart. He's from Philly. It's not just because he's funny. It's just like his mentality. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own business. He has his own videography business. Production. He has Heartbeat Productions and all that. So that's kind of what I want to do, kind of. So I was looking at that podcast. It's like an hour-long podcast. I just watched it straight through. And like one of the last things he said was practice what you preach, And I'm kind of big on that, and I'm getting better at it. I have different sayings in my room. I have like discipline. I have be great. Win the day. I have different quotes to motivate me throughout the day. So practice what you preach. It's easier said than done. Just because being consistent in what you're doing. Some days you're gonna have bad days. Some days you're gonna have good days.
That could be the word. Consistency.
Because
I wouldn't say practice.
That's your word of the day?
It could be it's our podcast. It could be our word.
Okay.
But I don't really want to say like practice what you preach. Like for me, it's more so being a man of your word and just being like putting action behind what you say. Like don't just be talking.
Yeah.
Actually do what you say you're gonna do.
Do the steps.
Yeah.
Do you say you struggle with that? Being a man of your word?
No, it's hard. It's hard to be a man of your word all the time, and it's hard to follow through on everything, especially when you make. I don't want to say promises to people, but when you have people that kind of rely on you, or you just don't want to bail on, especially if you care.
And I'm bad at that, yeah.
So I do have a problem with like bailing on people.
Same.
But when I make promises, I don't break that.
Facts.
So for me, that is that is more so what being a man of your word means, is like literally never going back on your word and always following through with your promises.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna be consistent all the time, so that's why me, I be bailing on people more than
it's not a bad,
and I want to get better with that too.
It's not a bad thing to do, but I don't know. I kind of whatever you're going through, you just gotta say like, yo, I'm not coming over, like whatever, like that's the thing.
Yeah,
I feel like
there's so much more I could say. But
facts. But yeah, so that's the end of the podcast. Just stay tuned for next week, and let me know what you thought about this podcast. A brief little update video on us and where we've been at, our headspace at. So thank you for watching. So stay tuned for next week. Thank you.
All right.